Welcome back to episode 3 of The Exit Row. I am your host, Adama Anderson. And in today's episode, you will hear about our second part of our trip at LAX and how we all got back to Omaha. Next, Paige got fired. However, we did rehire her after she watched Airplane the movie. So we had to have a little discussion about the movie. After that, we talked about Operation Centennial Contact, a nationwide event that the U.S. Air Force performed to commemorate 100 years of air refueling. Finally, Paige and Justin debate on which airline alliance has the best livery. Want to thank you again for your support. Now on to the show. Welcome back to episode 3 of The Exit Row. I'm your host, Adama Anderson, and I'm here with Justin.
Yes, sir.
And I'm here with Paige.
Hi.
Welcome, you two.
Hey, thank you.
To episode 3. How y'all doing? How you feeling?
I'm feeling great.
It's good to see you guys again. You guys again, I should say.
Here in Omaha, Nebraska. Here in, looking at...
Not LAX.
Oh, back in Omaha. Oh.
Yeah, back in Omaha. However, I don't have a bad view, though, because you can still plane spot from my living room here.
Right, I'm so jealous.
You get to see you just saw a Allegiant.
Oh, an Allegiant, a Southwest, a small plane. Oh, it's just, you got it all here.
Literally here in my apartment. I should probably show the viewers one day what it looks like. But yes, I do get to see Eppley Airport from my home. So, we all just came back from Los Angeles from our LAX trip. I think that was a fun trip, minus some of the weather.
It was okay.
For me, it was just okay. Let's talk about, so we wanted to go to Clutter's Park, or Airline Videos. What do they call that area?
It's known as Clutter's Park, Imperial Hill. One of the two.
Yeah, Imperial Hill, Clutter's Park.
Either one.
Interesting, right?
Yeah.
We got an Uber from our H hotel over there, and something very interesting happened with our Uber driver. You had the Uber driver, Justin. You were the one that got it right.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes, I ordered the Uber.
You ordered the Uber.
Right.
Okay, and then our Uber driver dropped us off. It was kind of a different route.
I'd love to give him a shout out, but I don't remember the name. But anyway, Uber driver number 2, we'll call him.
Uber driver number 2. It was really interesting. He actually dropped us off there at Clutter's Park, and then he got out of his car
and just started to spot.
He started to spot.
He dropped us off, and then he went and parked further down somewhere. And it was maybe, 5 or 10 minutes later, we just saw him right next to us.
Yeah, it was just...
Yeah.
It was so weird.
Yeah, I remember you pointing it out. You're like, is that our Uber driver? And he was just taking it in like anyone else. It was just very odd but awesome.
Right.
Yeah.
Did that make sense?
It just catches you off guard,
You just assumed he would go get another ride, but he was like, hey, this looks awesome. Maybe these guys know what they're talking about by having me drop them off here. Maybe I should take a look.
It was pretty cool. It was interesting. It was pretty cool.
It really was, though.
Yeah.
You think about it, though, LAX is known for plane spotting, and it's even like Los Angeles itself promotes it as a tourism thing, right?
Mm-hmm.
Go and check out the planes that come in. Unlike here at Eppley, where they're like, you are too close to the planes, you need to go pay money at that parking garage. LAX, they're like, you have so many places to go actually view planes. With us, it's just go to the parking garage. We won't clap you there, but we'll clap you anywhere else.
Right, yeah.
It's so annoying.
That's the vibe.
All right. Yeah, so that was interesting. Going to LA and having our Uber driver join us.
It was awesome.
He was plane spotting with us. So that was pretty neat. So
that was kind of cool.
But yeah, we both, the 3 of us, we met on that Sunday. I mean, we met every day, obviously. We spotted that night. We went up to the rooftop at the H Hotel. It was really cold.
Yeah.
I remember that. And we were able to see the Starlux. We wanted to see Starlux.
Yeah.
Yeah, because since the last time I've been there, that is a new airline to LAX.
Yes.
Yeah.
It was pretty neat. Unfortunately, it was at night, so
Yeah.
No pictures were going to be taken, but it was nice.
It was some really
there.
chill vibes up at the H at night. Some really chill vibes, especially they have that new lighting, the string lights that going across the top, and then it was just so foggy. Just the feeling of being there was just really, really cool. So.
Anytime at the top of the H is a good time.
That's a true statement.
Unless
really
it's like completely hot, sunny, there's no shade.
But it's
Like our first
still a
time
great
there.
time.
It's still a great
great
time.
time.
You might get a sunburn if you're not smart. But hey, we did learn that we can get water in the gym now.
Yes.
However, the gym also floods, so that's a weird, like the carpet in front of the gym. That was a
I
weird,
remember that.
weird part to the H hotel. But hey,
Just kind of like the last time we went. You got to learn each time you go. You learn from your mistakes,
so didn't have to drink the coffee downstairs too much.
If you don't stay at the H for more than a day and not get sunburnt, you did it wrong.
Absolutely.
That's true.
Yeah, both times I've been to LA, sunburn. So.
Near death for you, actually.
Oh, the first time really was. It was.
Yeah.
However, I think that was due to lack of hydration, maybe. Because it was like 103.
I call it extreme plane spotting.
It could have been that. However, that happened when we were at the Hollywood Walk of Fame. And I was walking around with my 20-something pound camera bag on my back and...
Being such a tourist.
Yeah, and I remember getting into the Uber so exhausted and I passed out, and then we got back to the H and I was just barely alive. I was like, I need the couch. I passed out on the couch and woke up just in time for the Air New Zealand All Blacks. And I'm so happy I got that.
You could almost say you were just in time for Justin.
Well, who isn't?
That was dumb. Hey, dumb dad joke. I'm the dad of the group. Not really, but I am the older
About
one.
time
So
you admitted it.
everybody considers me the dad. Anyways, all right. So we had our Uber. We talked a little bit last about Paige and her weird experience of dying last year. So we had to leave, unfortunately. Paige and I, we left on that Sunday. And it was an experience for you, Paige, because you haven't been on a Delta plane in a very long time.
Yeah, almost 20 years it's been since I was on a Delta plane. And we got on and...
Actually, let's speak. Didn't you see a Delta plane of yours from...
Yes! Oh my gosh!
Yes.
Oh, yes!
Talk about your experience.
Thank you, Dad, for the reminder.
Yes! Oh, I am so grateful you brought that up. So...
Remember, we are on a time constraint here.
I understand that. I'll make it quick. But when I was 5 years old, it was the first time I ever flew. I flew Delta, and my flight from Atlanta to Orlando was on a Boeing 767. And truly, it was one of the planes that got me into aviation. Because I remember walking on and just seeing the sheer size of it. And I was like, this is freaking cool. But so... Later last year, I ended up finding all the aircraft I flew, and I've been tracking them all over. And as we were spotting on that last day, actually it was not long before we left, maybe about 10 minutes before we ended up leaving. We're just standing up there, and I see the 767 taxiing by, and like, I don't know, there was something inside me that told me to check and see the registration, and it was the plane that I flew from Atlanta to Georgia, the second plane I ever flew
From
on.
Atlanta to Georgia?
Or to Atlanta to Florida.
There we go.
That's what I meant.
I was like, man, what kind of flight was that? Just a scenic
Very
tour
short
of Georgia?
flight for a 767, yeah. But anyways, yeah. But yeah, it was that plane, and I was like, oh my god. And thanks to Adama, got a picture of me spotting the plane. And so yeah, I saw that, and just super grateful for that. Very emotional. I had a moment.
It's just dad doing dad things. Yeah. So yeah, you saw your 767.
I saw my BB. One of my BBs.
One of 8,000 BBs.
Yeah,
Yes.
everything is a BB. Everything is. So we left that day.
Yep.
You and I, we both left. So we both
Peace.
flew Comfort Plus. We unfortunately left Justin.
Yeah.
And so we get through. Security was a little weird. Like the lines.
Yeah, it was.
At Delta, it was just weird because they had the... what do you call it? The ropes, you know.
There was
they
no
were roping
entrance.
things off. There was no entrance for those who
Yeah.
had the priority, sky priority lane.
yeah.
It was so weird, and they're like, "Go here." No, I'm trying to go to you, and it was just the weirdest
Yeah.
thing. But finally made it through. Got through security. You had TSA pre-check. I had clear. We both went into our respective lines, and we literally both met up with each other at the same
time.
spot. So it
Yeah.
didn't matter which way. The clear was taking a little bit longer. But we both ended up
Yep.
back in line. Got through got to our gate, and at our gate, Delta was trying to get 4 people off the plane. So they do that thing where they send like, hey, if you want to get bumped to a later flight, we'll go ahead and pay you $400, right?
Yeah.
Now that's lame.
Yeah, that's not enough.
It's not enough for me, and there were...
But it's enough for some.
It is for some. I would recommend you don't do that, especially with the guy that 2 days ago got $3,000.
That's why they do it. It's called a sales page.
It's
right.
You know, and so that's what I was trying to do. Was I was trying to tell the 3 people in front of me, they were a family that was split up, and they were looking for. Delta was looking for, or correction, they were split up on the plane, and they were trying to get at least one of the parents with the child.
Oh, yeah.
And, you know, you have to ask for that, right? And you have to ask the people around you, which, I mean, I'm going to be the jerk. And if you try to get me to move out of my window seat or a seat I just paid for, it's not going to happen. I'm sorry, but I'm not sorry. Like, it's unfortunate.
Especially if they ask you to move to a lower class.
Oh, no.
That is no.
But everyone's got a price, though. You say no, but if the limit continues to go up, everyone has a price.
Right.
Yeah.
So Delta wasn't able. I was telling the guys in front of me. I'm like, hey, listen, don't settle for anything less than at least $1,200 per ticket. And they're like, what? I'm like, trust me. It's people. I've done it once before. I've gotten $2,000. And that's a great $2,000 for a future flight. You know, I go to Italy all the time, unfortunately, right? Oh, unfortunately. But you have to play the game. And so I tell people, don't settle for $400. So I was trying to get him to go $1,200. He finally, I think the husband was a little drunk too. And so he was not like, his negotiation tactics did not work.
I think that's why the wife kept saying, let me do it.
Yeah, she probably should have done it.
That's also why they start the bidding at $300, because they know someone's going to grab it.
But nobody did. And
right, but that's why they started at that point, because there's people in line saying, you know, that's starting to sound pretty good.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, and the other thing too is...
Because not everyone has an Adama behind them saying, don't take it.
Well, that's true.
Yeah.
I guess that's true. But it's Delta too, so you would think, you know, everybody's more...
You would think, but some people are flying for the
bougier.
First time, some people aren't. You never know.
I'm not sure who settled for it, but 4 other suckers did not get on the plane. Those 3 did. Hopefully they were able to secure seats next to each other or something like that. But, so we get on. It was, what was it, a 321 Neo?
A321, not Neo. But it was really cool because I got to fly the 321 and 320, both aircraft I'd never flown on till that point. And
so you got the Delta experience, which
I did.
With that 321, we had a great seating assignment.
Oh, yeah,
12A.
it's the best you could ever get.
12A and 12B. Explain. What was up with the 12A and 12B?
Well, see, we had booked that specific seats because we wanted window view. You know, it seemed like a pretty reasonable place to sit. So I think you were ahead of me. We get there, and you were like, this is our seat. And it was just a wall. There was no window. I was like, no, you're joking. You're like, look. I looked up, like, you're not joking. Yeah, there was no window. It was just a wall. And...
all of a sudden, that $300 ain't sounding so bad.
Right. And the person in front of me, because I could peek, you know, through that crack between the wall and the person in front of me's seat, and to see their window, they had their window shade closed. I looked behind me, and they had their windows shade closed. I'm like...
it wasn't a win.
No.
And it was Comfort Plus, too.
Right. Which made it better, though, because the snacks were on point.
Yeah, see?
Them was some good snack attacks.
Different than your Southwest little snack attack bag thing.
However, I did get some good editing in. You know, I brought my iPad on board. I was doing some editing from Los Angeles, so, you know, had to do something to ease the pain of not having a window seat, despite thinking we were going to have a window seat. So
the recommendation is to use, as Brandon Ferris Photography told me, hey, I should have used Seat Guru. I would have known that, hey, that was a terrible seat to use. And now I use it.
We live and learn now, I guess. So.
I use it now because I just booked a Wizz Air and a Ryanair flight. And I had to make sure I had some of the best seats on that plane. So
exactly, because everyone has them fitted differently.
Yes, they do.
So Wizz Air's 12A might be 13A. You know, you just gotta look it up.
Well, and if you go to European flights, there is no row 13.
Right.
So there you go, huh?
But you know what I mean? Everyone's fitted differently.
Exactly.
Yes.
So Delta, yeah, we had that with the 321. That was terrible. But the 320 was good
nice.
too, right?
I was really surprised. It was an older aircraft, and I was surprised at how well they keep up the interior of those aircraft. And
they've all been retrofitted. Yeah.
Yep. And one thing I really do like about Delta, and I think they did this when I boarded back 20 years ago, is they play music when you're boarding, and it's not like your typical airport music. It's legitimate.
I think everyone but Southwest plays music.
Probably.
Oh, yeah, because American plays music. Yeah.
Not any other airline. I've been.
No, American plays music.
They did not for me.
Of course they didn't.
They did not play music for me.
Air
Lincoln, Sun Country, American. None of them have ever played music for me. So
Well, fair enough.
You know Ryanair, they play music when they land and they're on time.
Yeah.
They have a little jingle and it's, we're on time. 90% of our flights are on time. All right, so back to, so we're going to kind of go back to, you got to experience a lounge, the Sky Club. And in fact, you experienced the new Minneapolis Sky Club.
The brand new one.
The brand new one that just opened up
this
about
your first
3 weeks ago.
First lounge experience.
Wow.
Yes.
So-
Again, thanks to Dad, man.
Right?
Thanks to Dad.
Yes.
I had some
Thank you
freebies,
for
right?
that. Yeah, thank you for that free pass. That was incredible. That's something I've always wanted to do is get to a lounge. And
Showing Paige the world.
Exactly. It was amazing. And where we were sitting, because there was free food, obviously. So we go get our free food, and it was a buffet. There was so much food to get. And so we got our food, and we sit down, and it was just a wall of glass facing the gates. So you can see all the planes taxiing, and the food was great. We got some sparkling water. The bathrooms were super cool.
The brand new lounge bathrooms were nice? No way.
They were
Dude,
clean.
it was clean. It was actual doors, so it didn't have, the,
Versus the non-door.
yeah.
Explain.
So in a typical
It
bathroom
was like a
stall-
room.
Yes, it was like a room. It wasn't a typical bathroom stall where you could see under or see through the sides, because you have those like slits in the side where you can see through.
We understand, yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
It wasn't the American bathroom. It was
Yes.
like the European bathrooms
Yeah.
and the rest of the world bathrooms where
It
it's
was
an
so
actual.
It was a
Nice.
Buc-ee's restroom. You ever been to Buc-ee's? They're the same way. They're little apartments. There's
No, but
bathrooms.
I'm going to Dallas in October, and that's one of my stops I want to make is Buc-ee's.
So you got to experience the
Yeah.
Delta Sky Club. You enjoyed it. And we got back to Omaha, and you were able to talk to the pilot to get the pilot card, right?
Yeah, the A320 pilot.
His card, his number? What?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Explain the Delta card. Do you know?
Yeah,
Explain
when each pilot has the card for whatever aircraft they fly. So it's collectible cards from Delta.
It's got-
it has a picture of the airplane on it with the, A320, 3-1 or whatever it is. And then on the back it has all the specs. So range, how fast it goes. It has a
A
little bit
baseball
of,
card for a plane is what
Yeah.
she's trying to explain.
There we
Essentially, yes.
go. It's a collectible. And in fact, one of my
Let me save you
coworkers.
1 minute there.
Yeah, you take 25 minutes, Paige.
It's a baseball card for a plane.
There we go.
Yeah.
Is what it
Perfect
is.
explanation. And yeah, even my coworker, she got the 757 and the sad pup. I call it the sad pup because of the 717 that last week.
Belly
The nose
baby.
gear, yeah, nose gear collapsed. So we got to Omaha, and then Justin, you stayed an extra day,
I did, that's right. Because you
Yeah.
guys left. No,
Yeah,
just
that's
kidding.
right,
Just
we
kidding.
did.
Just kidding.
but you got to hang out with the airline videos guys for a little bit.
Yeah, so you guys took off, what was that, Sunday?
Yeah.
Sunday,
morning.
yeah.
So shout out to Airline Videos. They do a big Sunday show every Sunday. So I went over there, met them
On Sunday.
on Sunday. Big Sunday show. On
On
Sunday.
Sunday.
On Sunday. Watched you guys take off first from the top of the H. I waved, assuming you had a window seat. Little did I know I was waving to no one. Little did-
we felt it. We felt it. We knew.
So yeah, no, went over back to Clutter's Park, which is where they do their Sunday show from. I met them about a year ago, and so just chatted for a while. They were doing their show. And just an FYI for anyone that does meet them in the future, if you do go up to them, they will give you free goodie bags with like stickers and buttons and magnets. It's really cool. Just an FYI, if you ever do see them filming, LA, wherever they are, if you go up to them, they will give you a goodie bag.
I'll have to remember that next time.
And so I spent the afternoon at Clutter's Park for a while. And then let's see, I'll kind of fast forward to my travels back. I did have legitimate windows both ways. I'll just spoiler alert, windows
Spoiler
both ways for me.
alert.
However, I did fly Southwest. I'm not proud to say this, but I did.
Let's see what the experience is like. Was it as bad as you thought it was going to be?
No, I'll admit they get a bad rap, but I flew them because I kind of booked my ticket last minute, got lazy, and so they were obviously the cheapest option. So I took them from LAX to Denver, and then Denver back to Omaha. And really, it was a fine experience, I'll say it. However, the only thing I have with Southwest is for anyone that's in Group C, I do feel bad for.
Yeah,
I feel bad for anyone that sits in Group C. And luckily, I was Group A. I had A, 21 the first flight, and then A, 17 the second flight. If you're in Group C, man, I'm sorry. But you've got, slim pickings, basically. You will be sitting... C equates middle seat, basically, is what that is. Yeah. I really felt bad for anyone in Group C, because it had been several years since I'd flown Southwest. And I just think the boarding process is kind of mind-blowing.
Oh, God.
It is.
Just kind of mind-blowing, because you're sitting there at the same time being like, is this really how it still is? I really couldn't believe it. Luckily, I had Group A, so that made... Two things made this a good experience for me. Having Group A, and both flights were on time. So, that made for good flights. Like I said, had it been Group C, I'm probably having a little bit of a different tone with you here this evening. But, again, I think Southwest does get a bad rap. But at the same time, if I had Group C, that's basically my big gripe for them is their boarding process. I find it not just mind-blowing, but interesting. Yeah. I find it interesting that they continue to go about it that way. The fact that it's been working for years, but the fact that nothing's really been modified about it.
Right. They don't give you the option to pick a seat ahead of time,
Right. I always just kind of feel like it's going to evolve that way, but yet they don't.
At least with, other carriers Ryanair and Wizz Air, you actually can select a seat. Because
I will say there is something good about for A, if you're A1 through whatever, there is something.
Congratulations.
There is something cool about being able to pick your own seat, but at the same time, you do feel kind of it is odd because, like I said, I hadn't flown Southwest in years, and I knew how the process was, but yet you get on the plane and you're like, so I can just sit anywhere.
Right.
I feel obligated to ask if this seat's open, and she's like, duh. It's at Southwest, I'm like, sorry, American frequent flyer here, my bad. But anyway, I had a good experience. Both flights were on time. Sat in the exit row, obviously, from LAX to Denver because...
There we go.
Why not?
Duh.
Right.
Exit row. But no, I had good flights. LAX was a great experience for me, as it always is. Yeah. I continue to go back. I'm glad I've got you guys on the bandwagon and the addiction that is known as LAX Planespotting.
I think about it and miss it every day, truthfully.
Good. That means we did it right. Did it right.
That's true.
We did it right.
We did. Southwest, I just have this... I saw it when I was going to LAX here in Omaha as I'm taxiing, and I'm seeing... And I think they just do this on purpose, their boarding process. They literally put everybody up against the window so you can see how miserable everybody is trying to board their stupid aircraft.
It is funny, yes.
It's just every time. It's always up against the window. And
those number columns are always up against the window. You're so right about that. You're so right about that.
Oh, my coworker last week told me how she had a miserable experience with them and how, she didn't know that her flight was delayed until she actually physically looked into the app. There was no push notification. They didn't call her cell phone. They didn't text her. They didn't email her. They didn't do any of that. And I was
that's weird because when I got my delay, they were texting me. They were sending me notifications. I was getting bombarded.
And see, that's what it takes for Ryanair. It just takes one person to have a bad experience, and that's what it is.
Yeah.
That's the way it always is, but that's what you hear about.
I don't know. And then Love Field is just terrible, is what she was telling me. But
I'll be there in Dallas.
It's Southwest. So
I'll give a report back on that podcast.
Can't wait.
All right, so we all came back to LAX, and one more thing we did was we went to the College World Series.
Yeah.
Oh, the college. Oh, yes.
We all met up there.
It's college baseball.
We went to Game 3, and we all just met up before it. Saw the game. Saw LSU win.
Exit row did sports.
We did sports too. Paige.
Yeah. Hi.
So you got fired this week.
I did.
Justin and I
executive decision
made the decision to fire you this week.
Yeah, I was sad for a little bit.
Why? Why did we fire you?
Well, it may or may not be Because I have not seen the movie Airplane until yesterday.
No, it was because
That was the reason
It
why.
was, yeah.
You got fired because you had not seen Airplane, the comedy. And we felt it was inappropriate for somebody who loves aviation who hasn't seen that movie.
Yeah.
so thus the decision was made to let Paige go
we
from the podcast.
we let her go. However, we
were taking applications for a short time.
A few hours.
and you fixed yourself, right?
I did.
So
I'm back in the game now.
you're back in the game. You've watched it.
Yes.
Welcome back.
What do you think about it? What did you think about the movie?
I loved it. It has so many ridiculous vibes.
And don't just say that to
And-
please us.
I'm not. See, but the thing is that movie is so ridiculous, and I would consider myself a very ridiculous person.
Agreed.
I love ridiculous comedy. I love ridiculous vibes. That's just who I am, and that's what I got from that movie. So
It is awesome. Like that movie just has stood the test of time. Like it's as funny as it was in 1980. Not that I can claim how funny it was in 1980. Wasn't around,
Me either.
but it was as funny as it was the first time I saw it.
Yep.
To even seeing it, if I were to watch it right now, I would laugh just the same.
I absolutely love that movie, and I to this day will sometimes quote that movie specifically, especially my coffee. You know, we're not going to go there, but
But if you know, you know.
if you
I
know,
I know now
you
where
know,
you get that from.
right? So, I like my coffee black. Very simple, and we're not going to go any further than that. All right. So interesting. The reason why that kind of came up was during this week. It was actually on July 2nd. So yesterday, Airplane was released 43 years ago.
So it was released on that day yesterday, 43 years ago.
Yes.
And I watched it yesterday.
So
Wow.
there you go.
Oh, look at me.
Look at that
Wow.
history.
I mean, it's kind of why we brought it up in the first place.
Yes.
I didn't realize that, but I do now.
It came, so some of these facts that I have came from the Twitter handle, AT Right Movies, which means all the right movies. And I found it just interesting, some of the facts that came from the movie. One of the facts was this movie actually is like how Hollywood is. It's always a remake of another movie. And this one came from the 1957 airplane disaster called 0 Hour. And an old black and white movie. And actually, if I'm going to try to watch it to see the similarities between it, because looking at some of the pictures of it, it looks exactly like the same things occurred in that movie. But basically, Paramount sold it as Animal House on a Plane. Interesting that David Letterman was actually, he played or auditioned for Ted Stryker. So that was interesting to see. Fred Willard, he was considered to be part of it, but he turned it down. Just so many people were actually involved in this movie, and some of the facts that are, behind the movie and how they got some of these scenes. It was really interesting. And to some of the stuff that you see in that movie, like you will never ever see again. Like it would never play in today's society. Like sometimes some people will say like The Office would never roll with today's society.
Things
like
have changed a lot. Even
like-
since The Office, yeah.
talking about the lead, the main pilot, the captain here, he's just attracted to the young boy in the aircraft. It's just
There's
a
scenes
little
that
weird.
would not make the cut.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely not. But I also found interesting was also that Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, which we were talking about earlier,
Right.
you didn't know he
I
was
didn't
actually.
even know for several reasons until my dad mentioned it. He's like, because I was like, does that guy look a lot like Kareem Abdul-Jabbar? No, it is Kareem Abdul-Jabbar.
And
I was like, they did a great job of casting it. It looks just like
it
him.
looks like him. So he talks just like him. They did a great job. And interesting, it was supposed to be Pete Rose, who's
They
famous.
made a good decision.
Right, famous baseball player.
He was too busy cheating at the time.
There you go. And Kareem Abdul-Jabbar took the job. He took it for $35,000. He was offered $30,000, but he wanted a little $5,000 more to afford this Oriental rug that he had his eye on. So that was an interesting fact to the movie.
NBA salaries are different. back in the
Yes,
day.
Right.
that is very true. They make lots of money right now. And I guess there was supposed to be a skit about blind pilots but that wasn't at the end of the
It's funny that they've cut certain things out. Yeah, I would like to have seen that blind pilot scene.
Right.
So there's so many facts here to know about, to read about, and it's interesting. So, Paige, welcome back to the team.
Thank you. I'm glad to be back.
And we're glad to have you back? Question mark.
I mean, I guess.
Wow. Okay.
I guess.
Question mark. Question mark.
Kidding. All right.
Okay.
More like period.
Period.
Exclamation point.
Welcome
actually.
back. Period.
Exclamation point.
Welcome.
Smiley face.
Welcome
Next
back.
segment.
Period. So, guys, this week we had a eventful. What was last week on June 27th? There was a very eventful thing going on by the United States Air Force. It was celebrating 100 years of air-to-air refueling. It was called Operation Centennial Contact. And I wanted to go over some of the stats of it. It included 49 KC-135s, 29 KC-46s, 4 KC-10s, and had everything refueling such as C-130s, C-17s, F-15s, F-22s, A-10s, beautiful aircraft, F-16s, F-35s, B-52s, and 1 C-5. So 152 aircraft, 50 states, one day, celebrating 100 years of air refueling. However, all 50 states did not have participation that day. Looks like Connecticut, Indiana, Massachusetts, and Rhode Island, all thanks to the Intel Frog on Twitter, had that information out and available. But for Nebraska, it kind of was not an eventful event.
No.
Kind of a dud.
It was.
Kind of a
It
dud.
really was.
And so the aircraft, first off, all the other states, the Air Force, they had published what was happening in all those states. However, Nebraska, we had no clue.
If it wasn't for you, I honestly wouldn't bet. Yeah.
Right.
I'll be honest.
It was weird. And so the Nebraska didn't post anything until probably 10 o'clock in the morning that, hey, yes, we're about to fly.
The hour of.
You know, that's so Nebraska. Oh, you guys care about stuff. And yeah, so they had one of the KC-135s out of Lincoln with the Lincoln Air National Guard down there. They took off, went out to Chimney Rock, which is in the western part of the state.
Shout out Chimney Rock, by the way.
Chimney Rock, been there? Have you been there, Paige?
Nope.
Justin?
Oh, yeah. Definitely.
Yeah. All right, so Paige, you're fired again.
Okay.
Kidding, I'm kidding.
I need to go there. I want to go there. So.
I mean, it's overrated, I'll be quite honest. But it's one of those things, gotta see it.
It's a monument.
Yeah.
Moving on.
Yep. So the Nebraska segment went out to Chimney Rock, came back flying towards Lincoln, went over Memorial Stadium.
Tom Osborne Field,
Tom
Memorial
Osborne
Stadium.
Field, Memorial Stadium,
Either
where
one works.
the University of Nebraska
Whatever you wanna
plays.
call it.
The place where the football team plays.
Yeah.
And it looked like it was headed towards Omaha, because Omaha was supposed to be the final segment of the Nebraska segment of Operation Centennial Contact. But due to weather, which when we were here in Omaha, the weather was fine. But
Right.
hey, shout out to the pilots. They decided to close off the segment for Omaha and return back to Lincoln Airport. The interesting thing was they did have a F-16 that was doing the air refueling along the way, flying at 11,000 feet, sometimes flying close to 5,000 feet. I think they did that over Chimney Rock. So it was really neat. The Air Force had a really neat experience celebrating 100 years of air refueling. So I just wanted to talk about that.
I mean, it was a really cool idea for those that were able to see it. I'm sure it was awesome.
I think the people who saw it probably did not even know the significance of it because they posted it so late what was happening. They're just like, oh, there's a plane. You know?
Like I said, if it wasn't for Adama mentioning it, I'm sure there was some significance, but I didn't know the significance.
Right.
It was pretty historic, and we did
Yeah.
find somebody on Twitter that had Paige moments. So Paige has a twin out there with planes and her excitement for the air
Oh,
refueling.
yeah. Okay, I remember that now.
But
Yeah.
anyways,
Page moment, you mean losing all bodily control.
Yeah.
losing it.
I mean, out of body experience, yes.
So that was pretty neat, and shout out to the Air Force, for doing something really cool that was representing all 50 states,
Yeah.
minus 4 of them. So All right. Now is the part of the episode where I don't say anything, thankfully, right? And I'm going to have you, Justin, and you, Paige. I need you two to argue.
I can do that. I can do that.
Bring it.
All right.
What are we
I
doing?
want you guys to argue over which livery, special livery, airline livery, okay, alliance. Which one is better? One World, Sky Team, or Star Alliance?
Sky Team.
Ladies
All the
first.
way.
So Sky Team is what
Sky
you said?
Team is
Sky Team?
absolutely Sky Team.
That's
I
fun.
love the sleek. It just looks very elegant. The gray, I love it. It's just the gray matched with that dark blue tail. It's just there's very elegant about it. It's just very elegant to me. I love it. So
It's pretty ugly, in my opinion. but
excuse you.
That's fine. That's fine.
Wow.
Star Alliance all the way. It's always
Oh,
been from day one.
okay.
It's always been from day one.
You know, I don't mind Star Alliance. I do prefer Sky Team way over Star Alliance.
Oh, I would assume
any
so.
day.
Yeah, I would
You
think
know,
so.
yeah, but
Stick to your guns.
yeah, I am.
Do you have a
Sky
favorite?
Team?
Do you have a favorite Sky Team specifically though?
The wardrobe malfunction, the KLM. It has the blue nose, and oh my gosh, it's just so cute.
It's been your favorite plane for years, right?
It's so cute. Oh my gosh, it's that typical
She's loved it for
gray
years. Loved it
Sky
for years.
Team livery with the dark blue tail, and it has the KLM nose. It's just so cute. I mean, how can you not look at that plane face and be like, oh, that's not cute? It's so cute. Like, I just look at that and that.
I mean, that plane does scream you. It screams you completely. Not only is it Sky Team, but it's a WM, a Ward World Malfunction.
Yes, you are so correct. I agree.
Heard that once or twice.
That is just the epitome of Paige's airplane is wardrobe malfunction plus Sky Team. Best plane, hands down.
You can die a happy person now, exactly.
Yes. I will not die a happy person until I spot Diabaya. Just gonna throw that out there.
Gotcha.
But you know.
If you know, you know. We don't even need to get into that right now. Anyway, Star Alliance for me, it's always been the first. I always think it looks good on all the wide body aircraft. I will admit, I think it looks a little awkward on narrow body aircraft just because the lettering gets a little crammed. Like it starts to get a little busy. But on the wide body aircraft, it's spelled out a little better. And my personal favorite is probably the Singapore Airlines 777-300. It's the only Star Alliance. So first off, all of them have black tails. This one is the only one in the entire fleet that has a white tail. So that's my personal favorite. And obviously it trumps all Sky Teams, even the wardrobe malfunction. Like it or not. So it is what it is.
Hurt.
Like it is
I
what
am
it is.
hurt.
And that's fine. You're going to have to deal with it. And that's fine.
Wow.
But hey,
Oh,
I mean,
goodness.
you win some, you lose some.
God.
You win some, you lose some. I'm sorry to break it to you.
I just.
But anyway,
I
will
just
say,
need to see the light and realize.
I will say the One World though is not. I wouldn't say least favorite, but I guess someone has to come in third, and to me that's more of a modification because the Star Alliance truly is a livery. The Sky Team truly is a livery.
Yeah.
But the One World is more of like a modification to the current liveries of whatever airline they're featured on.
I mean, I could agree with you on that one. So.
Oh, it's not an agreement. It's just fact.
Well, yeah.
That's not an opinion.
Some people may think differently, but yes, I agree.
Right, people that don't know would think differently.
Yeah.
Right. But even you're agreeing with me, so clearly those people.
Yeah.
Anyway, but yeah, I think we settled that relatively quickly. We could take this outside to the parking lot, but we're mature.
All right,
human
guys.
beings.
Come on. All right. We did it, was it at LAX? We did see the Qatar One World.
The big Q.
That
Yes, the
was-
big
Big
Q.
Q.
Qatar.
Whichever it is.
That was really interesting.
Yeah, because it's like the all white body
Yeah.
with its featured tail, of course. But yeah, that's on the A350 too.
Yes,
Really nice.
yes, it
really
was.
nice, yeah.
It was really interesting.
Yeah.
All right, well, I'm a Sky Team person, but I'm not here to argue. I'm just saying.
That's exactly what we're here to
I
do.
love planes, and you guys had the argument. So it looks like, Paige, you're Sky.
Are you Sky Team because
Yep.
you're Delta?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Figured.
That
It's
is-
alright though.
It makes sense.
All right, guys, it's time to start wrapping up the podcast. I wanted to talk about future travels. So, Paige, you're traveling to Fremont, Nebraska with your car.
Thanks.
No planned trips in the next 2 months. Justin, you have
I'm going back to my apartment. If we're talking like real estate, like I will be heading back to the apartment.
aviation-wise. You're
Right. Yeah. So yes, me and my father, who is referred to Randall in the first person, it is what it is. But we'll be journeying to Alaska, going to Anchorage specifically, towards the end of July. So I've got a lot more to say about that, but not right now.
Oh, I'm super jealous, man.
Me too.
Especially watching the airline videos in the last few
Yeah,
days.
they had some great content over
They had the Dream Lifter departure.
which was
on there.
a surprise
Yeah,
arrival there
that
as
was
well.
really cool.
So stay tuned for some more words from me regarding Anchorage. So
And speaking of kind of the Dream Lifter, the Beluga, the 6-1 came out. The 6th and final one came out
Aww.
this week. So
was it the final one?
Yeah, the final one.
Interesting.
Newborn.
Beautiful aircraft.
Plan. So cute.
Myself, I have a trip to Italy.
Again?
Again. It's a retirement one for me, kind of. Gonna go celebrate my retirement. Taking Delta, Detroit, Omaha to Detroit, Detroit to Amsterdam, Amsterdam to Linate, Milano. And then coming back through Paris. Ugh, God, that's gonna suck. Paris
Gross.
to Minneapolis. Charles de Gaulle, don't ever go there. It absolutely
I'm not gonna lie.
garbage.
I would love to, but at the
It's
same time,
terrible.
Right, I would love to for the experience, but I don't know anybody who's traveled to or through Paris who has said they liked it.
It's
all been terrible words.
It's terrible, and
I'm gonna go there. I'm gonna love it.
I want it to go
okay.
by so quickly. Yeah. However, I am also going to be taking a Ryanair flight down to Catania, and it's one of the islands, and it's Sicily, the island of Sicily in Italy, and taking Wizz Air on the way back. And one of the things that I like to give people a tip about is if you're booking a flight, always know that if the flight changes, if you look at it multiple times like it did with me, I had to rebook or rethink. Like, is that where I'm going? Is that what I want? The price kept increasing. And if you've ever looked at like how these airlines work, Ryanair and EasyJet, Wizz Air, they all have add-ons. So you basically are getting a flight. You don't get a bag. So if you want a bag, to pay for the bag. If you want priority checking, if you want to check in,
Bag to pay for the bag.
you want to use the toilet, just those little things. I'm just kidding about the toilet. But you had to
really
pay for
aren't,
it.
though, at the same time.
So if you rebook or if you want to change it and then want to try to get back to that flight you wanted, the price continues to go up, even if it was just 5 minutes ago. And so what I did was I went to incognito mode, and the price went back to what it originally was when I was trying to book. So it was really interesting.
That is weird.
One of those tricks that I tell people is do incognito mode or get on your VPN and go to a different country. Or if they have an alliance, like how we were talking about SkyTeam or One World, try to book on another carrier within that. Like if it's Air France, book through Delta. Like, book through a partner to see about maybe if the price is cheaper. So just one of the things that I just wanted to put out there.
Do your homework, right?
Do your homework. But yeah, I'll be taking Ryanair and Wizz Air, so good luck to me with those flights. And
Have you flown Wizz before?
I have. I flew Wizz when I went to Budapest, Hungary, but it's Budapest. I went there for New Year's in 2017, ringing in New Year's. And it's interesting because Budapest there's the city of Buda, and on the river, and on the other side of the river is Pest.
Wait, that's news to me, man.
Yeah.
Me too.
Yeah, so the main city is Budapest.
It's like Omaha.
Ha?
It's like Omaha is on the east side, Ha is on the west side.
Yep. And another interesting fact is if you celebrate New Year's in Budapest or in Buda, they actually sing the national anthem of Hungary. They don't do, and there were no fireworks.
I mean, I'm okay with the no fireworks part, but yeah.
But it was really weird when, I'm going happy and everybody's singing the national anthem of
like singing happy birthday and everyone does the national anthem, right?
It was really interesting. So yeah. So I have taken Wizz Air. Speaking of special liveries, real quick, somebody had posted on one of our Facebook post, they talked about Wow Air.
Oh, I missed that one. Yeah.
Wow.
That was
And-
a
Oh, was that
short-lived.
the pink? Was that the pink?
Yes.
Okay.
It was in Iceland. Yeah, it was out of Iceland.
Iceland, yep.
Budget airline.
Budget airline, and I want to say I flew them once before, but I'd have to look at my flighty. And
They lasted like literally 2 hours. I mean, that's a joke, but in relative terms, they lasted about 2 hours.
Well, it's kind of like Air Italy lasted like
That's
6
right.
months.
That's right.
And
Which, by the way, they have good liveries. Flew into LAX, by the way. I caught them once.
yeah,
Air Italy,
Oh,
yeah.
wow.
my
Good
wife
liveries.
took a flight from Milan to San Francisco on them,
Nice.
and this week ITA just started their first flight from Milan to San Francisco.
Interesting.
Nice.
So bringing back that, or maybe it's Rome to San Francisco, but bringing back that Italian to San Francisco.
Yeah, I'll never forget. I'll have to go back into my archives and find those Air Italy pictures. But yeah, that was another short-lived airline.
It is, unfortunately. Damn COVID. All right. Or dang COVID. And on that note, thank you guys for listening to the podcast. We will see you again in 2 weeks. Please like us on our social medias. Justin, what is your social media?
At Spotting Omaha.
And Paige.
At Oma_spotter_page.
And then Aileron, who's with us.
At Adventures with Aileron.
And my handle on Instagram is photography by Adama D. Please like us on Facebook. Please like us
Please.
on
Please, for the love of God.
please like us on Spotify and Apple Podcasts. Leave a rating and like, and please respond to our polls. We're putting them out there, and you may be featured on our next podcast. For Justin, Paige, and myself, this is the Exit Row. Have a safe flight if you're flying, and see you next time.
See ya.
Bye.